Hey, Gearheads, welcome back to Friends with Benefits Car Club, where we break down cars, tech, and all the questionable choices automakers make, so you don't have to. Today's lineup is wild. Ram bailed on their long-range electric pickup, because who needs convenience? New car prices are skyrocketing so fast that selling a kidney might actually make sense. And a small Chinese SUV just schooled the Porsche Macan in safety ratings. Yep, Porsche fans, take a deep breath. Oh, and some guy in LA sacrificed his Tesla Model Y to save a Porsche 911 ST from a wildfire. The EV crispy, the Porsche mint. Priorities, right? So buckle up and hey, hit that like button if you're loving it, drop a comment on your favorite story and subscribe, because who else is giving you car news with this much sarcasm? Let's roll. Ram fans, it's time to pour one out because the long-range electric dream just got shattered. That's right. The much-hyped Ram 1500 RF long-range edition is officially dead in the water. Originally set to feature a range extender engine capable of pushing the truck up to 690 miles, this ambitious project had truck enthusiasts hopeful that maybe, just maybe, EVs could handle the long hauls. But nope. Ram decided to pull the plug faster than your dad, disconnecting the Wi-Fi when you don't do your chores. The reasoning behind this decision? Well, Ram hasn't exactly spelled it out, but the usual suspects are likely to blame. Cost concerns, engineering challenges, or maybe just the realization that marketing long range and actually delivering it are two different things. Instead of groundbreaking range, buyers will now have to settle for the standard version, offering a respectable 500 miles of range if you're coasting downhill with the wind behind you. And let's not forget what happens when you actually use the truck for, truck things, towing, hauling, or heaven forbid, driving up a hill. That range is going to plummet faster than your optimism after reading this news. So where does this leave potential buyers? Looking longingly at the Ford F-150 Lightning or eyeing Rivian's adventure-ready R1T, because at least those trucks are still trying to push the envelope instead of folding it neatly back into the filing cabinet. Meanwhile, Ram is probably hoping nobody notices that they quietly gave up on being innovative. If you are hoping for an electric truck that could truly go the distance without a pit stop, it's back to the drawing board or gas stations. In today's episode of How Much Worse Can It Get? New car prices are reaching record highs, and let's be real, and at this point they're just taunting us. The average transaction price is creeping dangerously close to $50,000, meaning if you are planning on picking up a brand new ride anytime soon, you might need to start selling plasma, or kidney, or both. Remember when a solid new car was within reach for the average working person? Yeah, those days are long gone. Between dealer markups, supply chain issues, and manufacturers realizing they can squeeze more money out of desperate buyers, even the most basic cars are starting to look like luxury purchases. Take the Honda Civic, for example. Once the poster child for affordability, now priced in a range that makes you question your life choices. Want a Toyota RAV4? Be prepared to shell out luxury level cash for a crossover that used to be considered a budget-friendly choice. The most frustrating part? Automakers keep adding innovative features like heated cup holders and subscription-based everything, making you pay extra for things that were once standard. Want adaptive cruise control? That's an extra few thousand. Fancy ambient lighting? That'll cost ya. At this point, used cars are looking more attractive than ever, but even those prices are absurd. A 5-year-old car with 100,000 miles on it shouldn't cost the same as a down payment on a house, but here we are. So, what's the solution? Unless you're rolling in cash or willing to embrace public transportation, it might be time to hold onto your current car like it's a family heirloom. Brace yourselves, Porsche fans. This one's gonna sting. The Euro NCAP crash test just crowned the Zeekr X, a small Chinese EV SUV, as safer than the Porsche Macan. That's right, a budget-friendly EV from China just flexed on one of Germany's most beloved luxury SUVs. Somewhere in Stuttgart, a team of engineers is probably questioning all their life choices. But before you scoff at the idea of a Chinese SUV outclassing a Porsche, here's the kicker. The Zeekr X is built on Volvo's SEA, Sustainable Experience Architecture platform. Yep, the same Volvo that's practically synonymous with safety. So it kind of makes sense why this little SUV crushed it in the crash test. When you combine Scandinavian safety expertise with Chinese efficiency, you end up with a vehicle that's not only affordable, but also incredibly protective. The Zeekr X scored top marks across the board: adult occupant protection, child safety, and crash avoidance tech, making it the go-to choice for people who want peace of mind without breaking the bank. Meanwhile, the Porsche Macan, it did fine, but fine doesn't quite cut it when you're paying a premium for German engineering. So what's the lesson here? Maybe safety isn't all about the badge on the hood, or perhaps it's time for Porsche to take a few notes from Volvo and maybe stop relying so much on heritage. The things we do for love, especially when it comes to our cars. In Los Angeles, a man made headlines by using his electric vehicle as a makeshift fire shield to save his beloved Porsche 911 ST, worth a staggering $290,000 from an encroaching wildfire. Let's take a moment to visualize the situation. Flames approaching, smoke billowing, and in the driveway, our hero stands between two choices: his sensible, eco-friendly electric vehicle or the holy grail of German engineering. And, of course, logic goes out the window, because there's no way he's letting the Porsche go up in the flames. Without hesitation, he drove his EV right into harm's way, positioning it strategically to take the brunt of the approaching fire like a true automotive warrior. The result? The 911 ST sat untouched in its glory, while the EV, well, it ended up looking like an overcooked marshmallow. The internet had a field day with this, splitting into two camps. On one side, the diehard Porsche fans were cheering, calling him a hero and claiming they would have done the same. "It's not just a car, it's a piece of art," they shouted from their leather-clad thrones. On the other side, EV fans were shaking their heads, wondering why anyone would sacrifice modern efficiency for an old-school gas guzzler. Insurance companies, meanwhile, are probably sitting in a conference room right now figuring out how to classify deliberate car sacrifice under their policies. And let's not forget the poor EV manufacturer, who likely didn't anticipate their vehicle doubling as a fire extinguisher. But hey, can you really blame the guy? In his eyes, the EV was just a practical A to B solution, while the Porsche, that's a dream car. And in the battle of like dreams versus practicality, we all know what wins. RIP little EV, you died a noble death. Moral of the story, sometimes the heart and the wallet wants what it wants, and practicality takes a backseat, literally. Car enthusiasts, brace yourselves. Acura has decided to bring back the iconic RSX. But before you get too excited, let's just rip off the band-aid. It's now an electric SUV. Yep, that's right. The lightweight, high-revving, corner-carving legend from the early 2000s has been reincarnated as something that can barely fit in your garage and probably comes with wireless charging for your phone. Because why not? For those who grew up dreaming of the RSX, this news hits like a gut punch. The original RSX was a staple of the tuner community, a symbol of affordable fun with its screaming VTEC engine, slick manual gearbox, and undeniable driving engagement. It was the perfect blend of style and performance, ideal for weekend track warriors and late-night street racers alike. But now, Acura slapped the RSX badge onto what is essentially an electrified family hauler, hoping the nostalgia factor will sell it. The new RSX SUV promises sporty DNA, but let's be real, when you think sporty, you don't picture something that weighs nearly 2 tons and comes with a panoramic sunroof for family road trips. The specs are still under wraps, but expect the usual EV buzzwords: instant torque, regenerative braking, and enough driver assist features to make you feel like you're not even driving. Acura says it's going after a new generation of enthusiasts. But let's be honest, those of us who remember the OG RSX aren't interested in carting groceries in its electric doppelganger. Social media is already on fire with reactions, with comments ranging from "Honda, why have you forsaken us?" to "I guess it's practical, but it still hurts." Looks like if you want the RSX spirit, your best bet is finding an old one and keeping it alive, because this new one is definitely not winning any street cred. Ever wondered what would happen if you combined off-road ruggedness with Porsche's signature rear engine layout? No? Well, Scout Motors did. Their upcoming electric SUV will feature a rear-mounted range extender engine, just like a Porsche 911, because apparently rock crawling wasn't already exciting enough. Scout Motors, a brand resurrected by Volkswagen to take on the electric off-road market, wants to do things a little differently. Instead of placing the range extender, a small engine used to charge the battery, in the front or under the floor, like most manufacturers, they're going full rear-engine sports car on us. The idea? Better weight distribution, and apparently more fun. On paper, it sounds cool. Who wouldn't want their rugged SUV to have a touch of Porsche heritage? But in reality, anyone who's taken a rear-heavy vehicle off-road knows the struggles. Imagine climbing a steep hill and feeling the back end getting way too cozy with gravity. Ever seen a 911 in the dirt? There's a reason why you haven't. Despite the eyebrow-raising engineering, Scout insists that this setup will offer better efficiency and improve traction when tackling tough terrains. The only question is, will it roll backward on a steep incline, or will owners be too busy showing off their Porsche-inspired design to care? It's definitely a bold move, and whether it pays off or ends up as a meme in the off-road community remains to be seen. One thing's for sure, Scout is making waves, and we'll be watching to see if this experiment works or goes up in smoke like an overheated battery. If you thought mechanics were getting sneakier, think again. A technician recently tried to pull a fast one by unplugging a customer's dash cam, thinking he was in the clear, only to be busted by another hidden camera inside the car. Talk about bad luck. The whole incident unfolded when a car owner took their vehicle in for repairs and later noticed the dash cam had mysteriously been unplugged. Suspicious, they checked footage from a secondary hidden camera, probably a backup camera, or maybe just paranoia paying off, and boom, caught red-handed. The mechanic's face, when he realized the jig was up, was probably priceless. Of course, the internet got hold of the footage, and within hours, the guy became famous for all the wrong reasons. Mechanics around the world facepalm in solidarity, while customers are now thinking of installing even more cameras in their cars, just in case. Lesson here, if you're gonna try and be sneaky, make sure you check all the cameras first, or better yet, just don't be shady. Customers are getting smarter, and thanks to cheap tech, you're always being watched. Moral of the story, dash cams aren't just for crazy highway moments. They're also for catching mechanics who think they can outsmart tech-savvy customers. And that's a wrap for today's episode of Friends with Benefits Car Club. We covered everything from Ram ghosting their long-range electric truck, because who needs practical range anyway, to the insane car prices that are making us all reconsider public transportation. We also saw how a small Chinese SUV humbled Porsche in safety ratings, ouch. And let's not forget the guy who sacrificed his EV to save his precious Porsche 911 ST, because priorities, right? Then there's Acura bringing back the RSX as an electric SUV, because clearly they think we needed another crossover instead of a fun coupe. Oh, and Scout Motors decided to channel their inner Porsche with a rear-mounted range extender, because who doesn't want a 911-inspired off-roader? And of course, our favorite story of the day, the mechanic who thought he was slick unplugging a dash cam, only to be outsmarted by another hidden camera. Classic. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button. If you didn't, hit the dislike button. We can take it. Leave your comments on what we talked about today. We'd love to hear your thoughts. And if you want to catch up on previous episodes, I'll leave them up on the screen for you. Thank you for watching to the end. It means the world to us. Whether you're here for the laughs, the news, or just to hang out, you're part of the Friends with Benefits family. As always, thanks for joining us on this ride. Until next time, keep dreaming, keep driving, and remember, if the car you're driving doesn't make you feel like a superhero, you're driving the wrong one. Friends with Benefits driving off.